Hey, what is up everybody? How are you guys doing? Thanks for checking out this video. Support for the channel is definitely awesome. Today's a cool, kind of dreary, foggy but not so foggy kind of morning. Yeah, it's a weather kind of morning. It's just, it's nice, it's beautiful, it's cool, it's crisp. I like it, but it's weather related this morning. You walk outside and the first thing you think is the weather. So I want to do a video today about weather, specifically hurricanes. We got Kingston, Jamaica getting pounded right now by a Cat 5. It's going to continue to get pounded until the hurricane basically doesn't exist anymore and just leaves town. So it's wreaking havoc right now on Jamaica pretty bad. They still have power in some places. I just saw an interview with some government representative from Jamaica that does have power, and he seems to be okay. Some of the streets in Kingston are still pretty good looking. Just raining, electricity still on, stuff like that. But that doesn't mean it's always going to be that way. We do get hurricanes here in the U.S., obviously. Most of the time, they're kind of limited to coastal regions, the Carolinas, Florida, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, the Gulf Coast, and southern Atlantic coast. Let's just say that. But it seems that recently we've had some freak storms that are kind of not doing the normal. Now, we had Helene that went all the way up into New York. That's kind of rare. I mean, not Helene, Sandy. We had Helene going to the Carolinas, Tennessee, stuff like that. It kept its power a little bit longer. So yeah, people that are getting affected by these storms are not in the normal hurricane mindset. So yeah, the years that I have in Florida, I figured I'd share it with you. Everybody comes out with hurricane awareness, whatever, week, day, month. The Weather Channel, local news, cable news, everybody talks about this kind of stuff. Most of it gets blown over. Some things are good, some things are just kind of a waste. The big thing that everybody talks about, first of all, is paying attention to everything, situational awareness, if you will. The next thing is take care of everything ahead of time that you're going to need. Be a prepper. They flat out say it. They actually have Hurricane Preparedness Week, Hurricane Preparedness Month. They're telling you to be a prepper, prep up. The things that they talk about are not the same things that would be for an SHTF. They really focus on power generators. If you have the means to get a generator, that's probably the most important thing you can get. They disappear quick. Easily a week before a hurricane hits. Like as soon as they have the tracks to hit a certain area, let's just say Fort Lauderdale, those Home Depots, Walmarts, Costco's, anybody that carries generators or power supply units of any sort are going to be sold out. So you got to have one of those. Water and food still applies. The food that I usually got was quick and easy. Hamburger Helper, Top Ramen, mac and cheese, box dinners, canned food, stuff like that. You do not want to go with anything that is perishable when it comes to being prepared for a week or two of no power. That's usually what it is. Sometimes it'll be sooner. Sometimes it'll be quite a bit longer. Like in Helene, I think there's probably still people without power like a year later. So yeah, that was all Biden and stuff like that. So that was last year. I think it was at the end of the hurricane season, but don't quote me on that. Kind of lost track on that. Food and water though, but canned food, stuff like that is going to be the holy grail. Stores will be open. Not everybody is going to be closed. Doesn't matter if you have power or not. Stores will be open. Now, whether you want to go out and traverse the landscape to find those stores, that's up to you. It can be dangerous. It can be fatal. Definitely be careful if you do that. So, be careful, turn around, don't drown, all those good little catchphrases. Water is kind of a given. Yes, there's a lot of water that is falling from the sky and from a building 2 miles away for that fact. Yeah, water is important. I usually do gallons. That's going to allow me to cook some food. water can go down. Water utilities can get shut off. There can be breaks in the lines. There can be contamination. Contamination was a big deal in Florida. They would issue no boil or boil water warnings, no drink, non-potable water warnings. So even if you do have water, you got to be kind of careful. So it's good to go ahead and stock up on some water, fill up your tubs, make sure the back of your toilets are full, grab a few gallons, just kind of cover the water situation the best that you can. Another thing that I've recently thought about, if you are in a hurricane area, if you are in a place that could get nailed, if you are in a valley, if you are in a flash flood area, get yourself a canoe, a kayak, something like that. What I did in Florida, and I actually got in trouble for this, but I was in an apartment complex and I not drilled, but I put a stake. I can't fit it. It's about twice, in relative to my head, about twice as long as that. So it was about 1.5 foot long screw with an eyelet that was real big on it. I screwed it into their parking lot and wrapped a chain around the holes on the inside of my kayak and chained my kayak to a parking spot in the apartment complex. Yeah, they didn't like the damage to the asphalt that I did, but when it flooded, it just floated. So I was able to have means to get around. I was able to have a way to get to a store via the water if needed. Yeah, I could have just driven, but take situations like Helene, take situations that have massive flooding, and yeah, it's going to change it all. You might need to just get out of the flooded area, get to a store, get to a place that has electricity to charge your phone and electronics, get a cell tower, so you can get in communication with loved ones, family, stuff like that. So some means of water transportation could be good. A boat could be great, a small bass boat, a john boat, something like that. That'll work perfectly fine. You might be commandeered by the government or FEMA or something like that for rescues. You can do rescues yourself. Pets, rescuing pets, stuff like that. A canoe is going to be a little bit better than a kayak for that aspect, because kayaks basically one person. Yes, they have two people kayaks, but it's still a one person because the girl never does anything. Let's just say it.
Why are you not paddling?
I'm a girl, sir. Keep paddling.
Same with tandem bikes. It's all good. It's all good. But a canoe, you can hold a couple people and maybe a dog or something like that. So you might be able to help out a neighbor that might be stranded on the roof or something like that, as well as being able to get to wherever you might need to get to. Yeah, it might be whitewater rafting to get to wherever you're going, but you're going to have to make that decision on your own. Be safe. Don't drown. If you're not experienced in a kayak or a canoe, you don't understand the roll aspect of things. You don't understand what can happen when the vessel goes sideways. Definitely don't do it. Wait till everything has calmed down. Safety is absolutely paramount in these situations. Don't be stupid. I'll just say that. I have been stupid in the past. I haven't had to pay a large price for it yet, but I realized that, I've been being kind of dumb about it, and that's okay. It's the thrill of the ride. That's what I like to do. So, yes, I covered power, get generators, solar, gas, food, water. Shelter is the other one. You don't really have to worry about shelter because you're going to be locked imprisoned in your home or apartment or vessel or shed or wherever you are reciting your residence. You're going to be locked down for a little while. So, yeah, shelter is kind of taken care of. A means for transportation to get out of there, something like that. Tarps are definitely a good thing. You will lose shingles. You will lose things. Things are going to need to be covered, most definitely. There will be damages and stuff like that. So tarps, small repair kits, a little bit of wood, an extra pack of shingles if you have a shingled roof. Just things like that. Things to do quick emergency maintenance repairs on a home or even a vehicle. You can put a tarp over a broken window where a tree went through your window. With that said, a chainsaw is a very, very good thing to have, a heavy duty chainsaw, not one of these little battery powered diggy mahoos, whatever. Ones that have like an 8-inch chain or something like that, an 8-inch bar. Get something that's 18-inch, something they can actually get through a tree that's a significant size that you can't move by person. You can't move by dragging it with a truck. You're going to have to cut it. You're going to have a decent chainsaw. So a little tiny chainsaw could do it, but it's going to take some work and it's going to put some wear on the chainsaw and stuff like that. But you might have something that's on your doghouse. Your dog might be trapped under a tree. It can land on your car. It can land on your house. A lot of places that trees can go, even down the street. So even just to be able to get out of a neighborhood or get into a town or a city, you might need a chainsaw to get through it. Especially if you're in a city where people just really don't have chainsaws, well, you're probably going to be the life of the party out there with the chainsaw. So yeah. Board up your windows, stay away from windows. The glass can break. Usually when the glass breaks, you have a very short gray area before you lose everything. So board your windows up. It's plywood. Most people put a wooden frame mounted to the studs of their house on the outside of the house. Ugly as all sin. Doesn't matter. It's going to save your house. Then you come up with a plywood, do 3/4-inch plywood, screw it into the wood that's mounted on there to protect your windows. You do that all the way around your house. Most people that live in an area that prepare for hurricanes have a storage area for their window wood. They have a spot in their garage. They stack it all in there. It's pre-cut. It's pre-labeled. Bottom, front window, living room, another one, top and bottom, spare bathroom window, stuff like that. Keep it organized, keep it quick, keep it efficient, just like you should with your preps. It's going to be basically a bug out bag for your house. You want to be able to grab things really quick. You're going to know where they are, kick everything into action, get a couple people out there with some screw guns and drills and stuff like that. Get that up and get it done. You can strap your roof. There are places that sell roof straps, and it's literally like strapping down a load in a trailer. You just strap your house down to the planet. They do work. They will keep your roof from lifting up and taking off as long as you have a good mount, a good solid mount in the ground. They do work. So that's really about it. Be very careful once the storm is over. You're going to be tempted to get out and walk around, investigate, try to find out what kind of damage has been done, go hunt down your chickens wherever they went, whatever the situation is. You're going to want to get out. Power lines go down. Most of the time, the power line's going to be tripped breakers. They're not going to be live lines. But every once in a while, you're going to get one that sneaks through that hasn't tripped the breakers, and you're going to have a live line sitting in water. Those can be fatal. Those will be fatal. I have never experienced it. I have never seen that. I have never seen that on TV. I do not know what to expect with that other than use caution blindly. Just be careful or don't do it at all. You could investigate. I'm not going to mention it. You can investigate into how to check if something is electrified with the water. You can find out if there's current going through the water. Use caution. Know what you're doing. Don't go get killed. Don't go get electrocuted. I'm just a dude on YouTube. Don't listen to anything I say. All right. But yeah, hurricanes, they can actually be quite a bit of fun. It is hunkered down party time. Everybody does a hunker down party. They usually get one house. Everybody consolidates that house. It is the shelter. It is the best protected, and people ride out the storm for a day, 2 days. It's usually over in 2 days. Everybody's gone. It's usually that day into the night. Everybody gets wasted into the morning when things start calming down. and you can check the radar. You can see what the position of the storm is and the intensity of the storm. People start trickling out. Usually once that dam breaks, pretty much everybody leaves. They're like, oh, well, Susie over there is good to leave, so I can't let her up me. I'm going to be okay to leave. And then I leave, and then somebody else is like, well, 2 people left, so I might as well get out of here. It must be good out there. That doesn't mean that's the case. It doesn't mean one person that made the wrong decision at first is going to be the savior for everybody else that follows. He could have made a bad decision, and he's going to lead everybody else into a bad decision. So just know what you're doing before you go step out into the world after a hurricane or a tornado or any sort of natural disaster for that matter. But yeah, just to kind of wrap it up, you got these things, have some tools, chainsaws, use common sense, knowledge, preparedness, know what's coming, know what side of the storm you're going to be on. The top and the east side of the storm is always the strongest. They're usually moving upwards. So when you have the winds wrapping around and coming down this way as it's moving forward, so it's still moving around the storm, but the storm is moving it. So you can actually have like 0 mile-an-hour winds right next to the eye wall of a hurricane if you're on the west side and it's moving north. So know your location relevant to the storm. Food, water, preparations, possibly some sort of flooding insurance. A canoe is a great idea. This hurricane that is currently, I think it's Melissa, something like that. The one that's over in Jamaica right now is not going to be coming anywhere near us. But hurricane season is technically still here. They said it was going to be a record-breaking season. We're going to see the most big hurricanes that we have ever seen before in history. And we've had nothing. Yeah. It's basically been a nothing burger for hurricane season. We've had a little bit of action, but that ain't hurricane season. If people have the understanding to what it's been like for the last 10 years with hurricanes as normal, you're in for a wake-up call. It has been very, very quiet. Yeah, we've had a couple storms that have done some damage, but overall for the season, it's been really, really quiet for a long time. And we are due for shit to hit the fan with Mother Nature and hurricanes. We're overdue for it. We're overdue for it with earthquakes. We're overdue for it with a lot of things. And there's a chance that Mother Nature's wound up a little bit and might release all hell to break loose here in the United States. So a little hurricane preparedness, a little preparation for any sort of storms that can be coming in. Don't take them for granted. Don't think that they're going to be nothing, because there's always a serious aspect to it. I'm a storm chaser. I'm going to be out there hunting down the eye wall on a scooter in some goggles, doing stupid stuff. But again, don't listen to me. Don't do what I do. You get educated in the subject. It could be a lot of fun. But take hurricanes seriously. We're not over. We got about another 4 months. We got till the 3rd week of November, I believe, ends hurricane season. October is usually a pretty active. October and early November right now is pretty active. Not seeing a whole lot going on. There are some storms, but the way the jet stream's going and the anti-El Nino thing that's going on out there and all these other things that are shifting the global weather patterns, and it's not hairspray and diesel fuel, it's just the way life goes. Everything is kind of shifting the hurricane season to be a little bit different and just weather to be a little bit different right now. So keep on your toes. Keep on your toes. If you are in the path of a hurricane or going to be in the path of the hurricane, act early. That's about the best thing I can say. Get on it. If you're a prepper, you should have all this stuff anyway. A hurricane can hit me right now, and except for roof straps, which is probably about the only thing that I would need, I'm good to go. I got the water, got the food, got tarps, got generator, chainsaw, axes, got it all. So if you're prepping, you shouldn't have a lot to worry about. If you don't necessarily prep for hurricanes and you'd like to put a couple things back, some food in an airtight Tupperware container. like little vat containers. You can get some waterproof ones that will float. That could be a good idea. You might spend a couple $100 for a little tote, but you know, hey, some people, $200-300 is like $2 or $3 for us. So yeah, if you got the means to get waterproof containers for your food, at least a 2-week cache of food and water and stuff like that, things you do not want to get wet because it might be raining in your living room. You don't know that. So you can go down that road, but yeah, food, water, all that kind of good stuff. So I just flipped on the news today, and the first thing that slapped me in the face was Hurricane. Oh man, I can't remember the name. Melissa? Geez, yeah, it kind of voids the whole importance of all this. A Kingston, Jamaica hurricane that's floating around out there that has a name that I do not know the name of was the first thing that came in and slapped me in the face for the news this morning. So figured, well, I got a little bit of knowledge on it and I've been through a few of them, so I might as well go ahead and talk on the subject. But I'm not going to keep rambling on. I am not going to keep this going on. I got to go out, get out into the foggy, dreary morning, go check on the birds, check on the garden. I'm going to be ripping the garden up here pretty soon. It is coming that time. We got a high that's going to be in the 40s high in a couple weeks. Not even a couple weeks. Next week, next Tuesday, I believe. We should be getting some serious cooler temperatures and a little taste of winter, even though fall just came in last week. But the Ozarks is a roller coaster. So cool. I will leave it with that. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I will talk to you guys next time. Till then, peace.